Hey guys, welcome to the FitBody Fusion Facebook Live broadcast. This is the second broadcast. We did one last Wednesday and had a great response. So back again, we decided we're going to stick with the Facebook format for now. Seems like everybody feels more comfortable with that maybe than the Periscope right now. So anyway, so we're really happy about that. So today's topic, I actually changed kind of at the last minute because this is something that's really near and dear to my heart right now. I think we all experience a lot of stress in life, and it can affect our fitness goals, not to mention our just kind of our whole experience of life and how much we're enjoying our lives, which I think is really, really an important part of this topic. A lot of times, a lot of us get so focused on our fitness goals that we forget that this is supposed to be something we enjoy, and it's supposed to be something that makes us feel good. And you know, when you push anything to the extreme, a lot of times it can start to be more stressful, hence less beneficial than it would be if we were to find a little bit more balanced approach. So welcome you guys. Thank you for the hearts. This is awesome. I'm really loving this Facebook format. So feel free to ask questions or provide comments. I'm really excited to talk about this topic. So for me personally, I mean, recently I've moved across the country. I've been traveling almost every week. We've been sponsoring shows every week. We've had athletes and shows, not to mention, you know, it does take a lot of toll because I work on a very intimate level with a lot of the people that I'm coaching. So sometimes that can be stressful. So stress is an important thing to know how to deal with. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some suggestions that I have to help you stay on track, to help you manage that stress and to feel better about, you know, everything in general. So one of the main things I want to talk about is creating a routine. A lot of times when we get stressed out or we start feeling overwhelmed, it's because we feel like what we have on our plate is more than we can handle. So creating a routine for yourself, blocking out your time. There was a point where I had really started to feel so overwhelmed that I wasn't sure how I was going to handle everything I had on my plate. And I sat down with somebody who's a life coach. That's, you know, a lot of you guys know that I have a course that I did with Bonnie Kelly. And Bonnie and I sat down and started talking about time blocking. So when you take your first of all, creating a to-do list is very helpful because a lot of times we get overwhelmed because we really can't visualize what all we need to get done. We just know there's a lot we need to get done, and it just feels like a lot of static in our brain. And it's hard to even start to put one foot in front of the other, and then we start procrastinating and we start getting behind on things, and it just creates more and more stress. So starting out with a list of to-dos, figuring out what are the priorities of those things. What is an immediate priority and what is something that can be scheduled out in the future? Because once you put it on your schedule, you can let go of it. You can stop stressing out about it. Okay, on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, I'm going to go to the post office and take care of some things I need to mail. Whatever it is. You know, sometimes it's little things that feel really overwhelming. So starting to block that time out. You know, creating a routine, kind of getting back to the routine aspect, you know, an order in which you do things. So whether it be the time of day that you're going to work out, you know, each day of the week you have, okay, scheduled from, you know, maybe my lunchtime. That's my time I'm going to go and work out each day. And knowing what you're going to do. So that way it's one less thing you're worried about, you know, a routine even so much as I know, you know, each evening I'm going to prepare and lay out my workout clothes for the next day. I'm going to make sure that my meals are pre-planned or pre-packed. You know, I'm going to do that from 9 to 10, you know, and then I'm going to relax and read a book or whatever, go to sleep, you know. Bringing up sleep. Sleep routine is huge for reducing stress and helping you be successful. Going to bed at the same time each night and getting up at the same time each morning can do amazing wonders for a lot of different things. Obviously, you're going to feel more rested, you're going to feel happier, you're going to be more productive during the day. Also, you're going to be less hungry. And that sounds really crazy, but when I don't get enough sleep, those are the days I really have the hardest time sticking to my macros. And, I kind of constantly feel hungry throughout the day, and it's just a lack of energy. It's my body saying, I need something. And really that something is sleep, but it's translating into caffeine or food or something else. So sleep is key. And this is one of the things that I'm dealing with right now with all the travel and the time zone changes and, shows that run late, things like that. Not having enough sleep. I've really noticed it lately. I come back from a trip and I'm just really hungry for 2 days, and it's hard for me to get my body re-regulated. So as much as you can, sticking to a regular sleep schedule and really shooting for that 8 hours of sleep a night. I know so many people are just, say they can't do it. Sometimes it's just, maybe cutting out one less TV show you're watching at night, or, going to bed right after you get your kids to bed, because I know a lot of people, oh, but my kids and this and that. Getting those kids to bed and then you go to bed. And so sometimes that just requires planning ahead. And it just requires getting in a routine so that okay, if I'm going to get to bed by 10 o'clock tonight, I need to make sure I've got the kids in bed, if you have kids, by 9. I need to, do my final food prep, go and brush my teeth, do whatever else I need to do, wash my face, do all my kind of stuff. But have that stuff in a routine. It'll also help you unwind so that when you lay down to go to sleep, it's easier to fall asleep. A lot of times the stress is what's keeping us from falling asleep, and that's where having that list of to-dos and things scheduled out, so that instead of sitting there or laying there in bed while you're wanting to fall asleep with those wheels just spinning, oh gosh, I got to remember to do this, I need to remember to do that, like all those things that are going on. If you've already created your list, ranked, everything in level of importance, scheduled it out so that you know when you're going to get it done, you won't need to do that anymore. You can put it aside and go to sleep. So having that sleep is really important. Having the to-do list, having your activity scheduled out, having that routine so that in the morning okay, I get up, for me, I get up, I go drink my Green Vibrance, I go back, wash my face, brush my teeth. Have a certain order that I do things in, and it really does help. It sounds, people tease me, oh, you're just a Virgo, you have to do things in a certain order, and it's true, but it really does. It helps set the tone for my day. So sleep, I talked a little bit about. Time blocking. And in that time blocking, finding balance. That was one of the things when I started blocking out my time. I wasn't giving myself any flex time. And for me, Friday's my flex day. And so I don't schedule check-ins on Friday. One of the reasons is a lot of times I am traveling on Fridays to shows, so that makes it difficult. But it's also just gives me a day so that, if something happens during the week, or if I can't get to something, or, whatever comes up, I have a place to put it, right? That's really important too. Giving yourself some flex time. You can't schedule yourself out to the last minute and then, something comes up and it just throws everything awry. So figuring out what that is for you. When is that flex time going to be for you? But when is your time going to be for you? That's important too. Both from a family standpoint, right? So there's a certain time that I schedule that's my family time. Especially when I'm in town. Sunday morning is family brunch, and we spend that time together. That's really important time for me, and it gives me a lot of peace and helps to reduce my stress, because I know I'm going to get to do something special with my family. But then where's the you time, right? Where's the time, and I'm not talking about workout time either, right? I'm talking about just time for yourself, whether it's to go take a hot bath or whether it's to go get a massage, some time that is just for you is really, really important. So blocking that in, making sure that there's space for that, allowing yourself that will really help. And during that time, you're not allowed to do, the to-do list, right? That's time just for you to spend and relax and rejuvenate, so that when you do take on the world, you can take it on, with a vigor, right? With a sense of, I'm ready for this. So the routine on sleep I talked a little bit, but also eating, right? So getting your body into a schedule of, eating at certain times of day can really be helpful. It's helpful in terms of your appetite will, start to coincide, and a lot of you probably already noticed that. Like if you eat certain times of the day, whether it's every 3 hours, every 4 hours, if it's the same time, your body, you don't even have to look at a clock, right? You just know, oh gosh, I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. And you look at the clock, oh wow, it's about time to eat, right? So that really is helpful as well to help you not miss meals, but also to help you, get into sync, with when you're hungry, and when you're not. So that's really great too. And will help reduce stress, right? So that's what we're talking about, anxiety and stress. Oh, when am I gonna eat? Oh, what am I gonna eat? Well, if you've already planned ahead, if you've already, whether you're going out to eat with friends or family or whatever, but you've already planned it, or if you've, pre-packed your meals the night before, or I got my meal with me, I'm not even worried. When it's time to eat, I start getting hungry and I go grab my meal. If you haven't gotten yourself on that schedule yet, some people find it helpful to do like a little alarm on their phone so that it reminds them, and it kind of helps you start to get into a pattern and into a schedule and into a routine. That routine is so key for reducing stress. If I've already got all my meals figured out and packed, I'm not stressed about it all day. If I haven't done that, I'm probably going to be a little bit stressed, right? Because other people aren't hungry at the same time as me and they don't want to stop and eat. And then if we do, what if the food isn't there that I need? Things like that, right? So just being prepared ahead of time, and planning and, takes kind of that pressure and that stress. And I may still decide to go out and order something to eat, or I may diverge from what I planned, but I know I'm covered, right? So I don't have to stress. And with traveling, that's challenging, right? So that's one of the things I've been really challenged with the last couple of weeks, because I'm only in town a couple, 2 to 4 days, and then I'm back out of town again on a plane, in a new city and everything else. So starting for me, I have to have a travel routine as well, right? So a routine for how do I pack? What types of things am I going to bring with me? I have a routine even for, transportation and, how I do my airport routine and just kind of everything. And the more your routine about things, the less it requires you to stress or to worry, about how things are going to be done, because you just, you have that routine and you follow it. And there's a comfort in that. There's, you're able to be a lot more relaxed in that. The other thing is, training. I wanted to bring that up. Obviously, we're here to talk about fitness, right? We all have our fitness goals, and we need to prioritize our training. So scheduling our training time, we mentioned that a little bit. Getting into a training routine that works for you is really important. I mean, I know a lot of the people who are on now or who are going to watch this after the fact are, competitors or athletes. And so it's a little bit different in that when you have that competition goal, right, you are very set in your routine, for you need to do your cardio certain days, you're going to do your weight training certain days, things like that. So that needs to be done, that needs to be scheduled. But I also want to bring up listening to your body. So sometimes you're going to need a day off that's not scheduled. If and I have clients that will, tell me, I had this trip and this and that, and I didn't get any sleep, and then I went into the gym, and they literally went in the gym with 3 or 4 hours of sleep. It's really important to prioritize things, and I want to tell you, sleep is on the top of my priority chain. It's the top. If you only got 3 hours of sleep, I don't care if you work out the next day, I'd rather you sleep. I'd rather you get 8 hours of sleep. If you don't sleep, your workout's going to suck. You're not going to recover well from it because your body's just dealing with, the lack of sleep. You're going to be hungry all day, so you're going to have a lot, bigger chance of going off of your macros, things like that. So to me, getting enough rest, getting enough sleep has to be prioritized number 1, right? I would say nutrition is going to be your number 2, making sure you've got all your meals, that you're hitting your macros. For those of you who are new to macros, those are macronutrients, so you want to get enough protein, carbs, and fats throughout your day. If you're not sure how to do that, that's what we do at FitBody Fusion. So you can sign up for the course online to learn it yourself, or you can sign up for coaching and learn all about what the macronutrients, you know, should look like for you. And we'll do more Facebook Lives where we talk about those kinds of things. But, you know, hitting your nutrition goals is going to be 2. I'm going to say sleep, number 1, nutrition goals, number 2. I'm going to include in nutrition getting enough water as well. So you need to be drinking. It depends on the person. I would say on the low end, 3/4 of a gallon. On the high end, for most people, 1.5 gallons. I think people who are hitting 2 gallons are probably drinking too much and working your kidneys too hard. For me, I very rarely would ever hit 1.5 gallons. If it's a really hot day and I've been sweating a lot, I'm going to probably get in about 1 gallon. If I didn't train that day, or, you know, I'm just kind of, you know, in the office, that kind of thing, I might hit about 3/4 of a gallon. So I'm going to include getting hydration along with nutrition. So that's going to be your number 2. And then after that is going to be your training. The other thing is, as far as for stress reduction, anxiety reduction, yoga and meditation is really, really great, right? So I really encourage everyone, if you can get in 1 yoga class a week, if you can get in more, great. There's nobody that cannot benefit from it. So it's physical, it's exercise, but it also allows you kind of time for deep breathing, for getting it out of your headspace, and can do wonders. A lot of people too do really well with meditation, and for me, meditation can mean a lot of different things. I might choose a book that is really inspiring, or is something spiritual that I like to read, or something motivational I like to read, or whatever, and just read a chapter a day. And that might be my meditation. I might actually sit down and do a mantra, actually meditate. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but it really is, the quote I put in, anxiety is worrying about the future, depression is feeling sad about the past, or regretful about the past. So what's in between that? And meditation and yoga help you get to that now space, to that present space, and this is what's causing the anxiety. I mean, you think about, why do some people feel overwhelmed with the simplest of things, whereas other people can be like dealing with major life upsetting things and are able to cope? And what is the difference, right? It's really a personality thing. It's really a outlook thing, and we have control over that. We have control over that up here. It's all about, it's not the outsides are controlling us, it's in here is controlling how we're responding to everything that's going on outside of us. So I think that's really important. And if that's something that you have a hard time with, the yoga, the meditation, even going and taking walks outside and breathing, and especially if it's beautiful outside, and admiring the outdoor, being one with nature. I mean, I know this kind of sounds kind of hokey or whatever. It isn't, though. It really does wonders for your mindset, your outlook. When we're talking about fitness goals and weight loss and all this, gosh, it feels so heavy. I feel like for a lot of people, it feels like it's a punishment almost to a lot of people. It's like they're punishing themselves or something like that. Even people who are motivated to do a show or whatever, it's kind of like just beating ourselves, right? And that's not what it's about. Stretches at night with candles, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, I think it's very important to start to look at your fitness goals in a different light, rather than it being something you have to do, and it's hard, and it's something like, I gotta do that, I gotta pack my food, starting to make it joyous, starting to make it a celebration, starting to look at things from a different vantage point can, totally change your outlook in life. And making sure that you're staying balanced and you're making time for those other things are important, right? Whether it's time with your loved ones, or, time for yourself. These are the things that are going to make it, fun and interesting and everything again. So the next thing I wanted to bring up, because I'm not going to make this one too long, is people. And you guys who are on here now, as well as a lot of the other people in FitBody Fusion, other people that listen to this that aren't part of FitBody Fusion, surrounding yourself with a community of inspirational, like-minded people, it'll change your life. It'll make this all so much more fun. You know, when you are around people that are bringing you down, that are, you know, making fun of the way you eat, or that, you know, why are you working out all the time? You know, kind of making you feel, you know, awkward or different, or, you know, uncomfortable with what you're doing, right? That's not going to help you. And there's going to be those people. They're going to be in your life, right? So you have to get good at dealing with them. You know, and to me, you know, rather than trying to change those people, be an example to them, right? Be a light to them, show them, tell them what it's doing for you. You know, one of the things that I think gets these people going is when they're like, oh, you can't have this, or you can't do this, or you have to this. And changing it and telling them, you know what, guess what? I get to do this because it makes me feel amazing. I'm like, you know, when I eat these certain types of food, they make me feel so good. They give me energy and they make me feel motivated. And when I go to the gym, it makes me, you know, feel just a sense of you know, a sense of, help me out here, guys. Accomplishment, there it is. A sense of accomplishment, a sense of, you know, it makes me feel stronger. I just saw, I think it was Erin who just said she was able to lift up a whole bunch of things and put it in the shelf, you know, strong. And especially, you know, as women, but also you guys out there, like feeling strong, feeling capable. You know, I do it because it makes me feel those things, right? If you can focus on that with those people, because a lot of times when the people who are the naysayers are kind of coming down on you, it's because they don't feel good about their bodies or their weight, or they're, you know, and so they're feeling guilty about that. So they kind of want to, you know, so when you make it less about what you look like and more about all the other benefits, I think sometimes people will kind of back off of some of the things that they say and do. So, so that's one suggestion. The other suggestion is just like, man, surround yourself with those amazing people that have the same goals that you are, you know, and you know, and just inspiring you, making you you know, feel happy about what you're doing, whether it's in the gym, whether, you know, it's out in the world, you know, it's really amazing. They're everywhere. So, so surround yourself with those people. You know, even through social media, I see you guys supporting each other. I mean, this weekend I was at that show, and it gets me, like, seriously, I'll start getting, oof. The girls were so supportive of each other and so loving to each other. It was really awesome and amazing to see. And it just made the whole experience so wonderful. You know, when you're competing, you're up there being judged by a group of people who are, you know, basically, you know, especially when you get to a national level and everybody looks so good going, I think she's prettier than that. It's like a beauty pageant, right? For fit girls, that's a hard thing to feel judged when you've worked so hard like that. So surrounding yourself with these amazing, loving, wonderful women and having an experience with them, you know, makes it's worth more than any plastic trophy that you'll ever get. So, so I really, really encourage you to do that. And so that, as far as reducing, you know, anxiety and feeling overwhelmed and stressed, these people that you surround yourself with will help you snap out of it when you do it. You know, it's like having that person to reach out to that tells you, know, that can listen to you and help you, like, reframe things and put things back in perspective. You know, it's really interesting. I had a client that had an issue a couple weeks ago, and she was upset about how somebody had reacted to her. You know, and after we talked it through, she realized that it had absolutely nothing to do with her and everything to do with that person. And she ended up talking to that person later on and realizing that person had a really hard day and a lot of other stuff had happened, and the way that person was acting had absolutely nothing to do with her. So sometimes just having that person that can help you check in and check yourself, right? You know, and kind of lift yourself out of that minutia or that, you know, idea that, you know, that things are about you that maybe aren't, right? So I think that stresses us out sometimes, you know, where we think, you know, people are against us or think people, you know, don't like us or, you know, are mad at us or whatever. In reality, most of the time people are just dealing with their own BS, right? So, surrounding yourself with those people that are going to help you keep things in perspective. And so mindset-wise, I talked a little bit about how your outlook is everything. Oh, Erin just joined. I just finished telling a story about you, Erin, so you'll have to watch it again. But mindset, being reasonable was one of the things I had made a note. Be reasonable with yourself, right? Yeah, be reasonable with yourself. I think sometimes we expect too much of ourselves, and then we just beat ourselves up, for things that are completely unreasonable. We're not perfect, and that's beautiful, right? The fact that we're not perfect is beautiful because it makes us all unique and different and wonderful. And so, there's going to be challenges, and it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up, right? Be reasonable with yourself. Be kind to yourself. And the other thing is realizing what's important to you. What is your purpose? What is important to you in life? What is the most important thing to you in life? Some people will say family, some people God, some people, there's a lot, what's important to you? What do you feel like is your gift to the world, right? And then every decision, if you're clear on that, every decision you make going forward, you can always check off of that list. Is this still in line with my purpose? Is this still in line with what I want to give to the world, or help to provide to the world? Is this in line with what's important to me? Because I think sometimes we get so off track, and this gets us overwhelmed and stressed because we think all these little things are important that really aren't important to us. So if we can kind of bring it back in and check in with what really is important. Am I being the kind of mom that I want to be? Am I being the kind of wife that I want to be? Am I being the kind of friend that I want to be? What's important to you, right? And bringing things back to that. So maybe I'm not perfect at something else, but I'm really, in line with what is most important to me. So sometimes, those other things can kind of go on the back burner, as long as you are focused and you know that what you're doing is in line with what you feel like your purpose is in life. That takes a lot of stress and feeling overwhelmed off your plate. Cut yourself some slack was something else I wanted to bring up. Sometimes you gotta just cut yourself some slack, discipline versus flexibility, right? So discipline isn't a bad thing, especially when we're wanting to achieve a goal, right? We want to hit our goals, hit our macros, get our workouts in for the week. And there is life. We have a family member that gets sick or goes into the hospital. We have a wedding for somebody that we really, really care about, right? Things are going to happen. Things are going to happen in life, right? And we go back to that list we talked about what's really important to me. My family's really important to me, right? Okay, so one of these things happens. I'm going to maybe put something on the back. Maybe I move my workout to a different day, or I miss one workout this week. Maybe my macros weren't perfect because I had to run to the hospital or take, we always want to do our best to be prepared for situations, but there's going to be situations that come up that we're not prepared for. And guess what? Cut yourself some slack, right? Just, I had a yoga teacher who, Surgyan Singh, I loved him so much. And he used to tell me all the time, Jamie, put your frying pans away. So bam, 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 right? He was like, put your frying pans away. Stop beating yourself with your frying pans, Sometimes it's just cutting yourself a little bit of slack and staying in line with what's important. If you're one of those people who's competing in shows, if you have to wait a little bit longer to do a show, guess what, guys? There is a show every freaking month. And competing, as much as I love competing and I live in that world and I support so many amazing athletes and I love you guys so much, it's not your life, right? It's not something, if you're so stressed and so overwhelmed and it's creating a lack of happiness in your life, back it down. Do some reverse dieting, spend some time building, take an off season and come back when you're excited about it again, when you're ready and you've got the time and energy and momentum to go into it. I have people all the time that are asking me, hey, should I do a show in 3 months? And I already know they're maxed out already. They're like at their they're at their, and I'm like, no, no, that's crazy talk, right? It's not, their competitions are going to be there. Awesome. It's great. It's a fun goal. It's great. It's fun to do. But, make sure your priorities are in check and that you've got the time and energy to devote to it when you're ready. And when you're not getting ready for a show, take good care of yourself so that when you are ready for a show, you're not having to beat yourself up to get up on stage, right? Do your reverse dieting, do your off-season training and building, like do all that stuff and do it with, with fun, like with excited and motivated, because I see so many people like, oh God, if I don't have a show hanging over my head, I'm not going to go to the gym and I'm not going to eat my stuff. Shows are one in the off season. A good off season is what's going to make you great. What's not going to make you good is what's going to make you great. It's the people that do what I'm talking about. Keep those stress levels down. Do their off season. Make this a lifestyle, not just a momentary thing. Not just I'm just going to lose a bunch of weight just because I want to get on stage. That's not what this is all about. So, cut yourself some slack. Keep that discipline, but also keep some flexibility in there as well. And sometimes it's figuring out how that's going to work best for you. A lot of times people will come to me with a suggestion, like, they want to, I had somebody who has an extracurricular activity that they like to do on the weekends and asked me, can we put her 2 days off back to back so during the weekend she can do that, and then we'll kind of shift around her workouts. And she had had coaches before tell her absolutely not. I'm like, absolutely yes. That extracurricular activity is something you love and is important and fun for you. Hi, baby. So absolutely. So this has to be something you love and you enjoy and doesn't take away from your life, but gives to your life. If competing is something that is important to you. If competing is not something that's important to you, but you want to lose weight or you just want to get in great shape, again, it's all about balance. I would say if you're not somebody who's looking to compete, finding ways to make fitness fun in your life, even if it's just walking out, going for jogs, walk outside. And you guys know I'm not a big fan of cardio, but it's not even about the cardio. It's about just movement, and it's about fun, and it's about getting some fresh air, and it's about, it's about clearing your mind. All these things are so important. It's not, how many reps you do is not your whole life. It's got to be part of. So let me see if I covered everything. Pay attention to how things affect you. And, I talked a little bit about the people in your life. How do they affect you? If they're not affecting you in a good way, it might be time to create some boundaries and maybe even remove some people. And other people, it might be time to pull those people closer, to reach out. If you see somebody, even on social media, like if you see somebody on our team that seems like they're super motivational, reach out to them, comment on their posts, tell them, hey, you're inspiring me, you're motivating me. Let's interact here, let's connect. Reach out to those people that do motivate you and start to kind of create some boundaries with those that don't. So pay attention to how you're affected by people. Pay attention as to how you're affected by foods. Some people have food allergies they don't realize. Some people, some people have things that make them feel poor when they eat certain foods, whether it's digestive issues, which that can affect your stress levels and your mood and your anxiety and everything else. If you're not regular and your digestion isn't going good, you're going to probably be pretty miserable. So that's really important. So pay attention to how foods affect you. There are certain foods that I eat and I feel amazing. If I'm eating lots of fruits and vegetables and alive kinds of foods, I typically feel more alive. I feel lighter. My digestion is better, things like that. But at the same time, I'm not going to limit myself to those either, because sometimes I really want to have some chocolate, And so, as you guys know, I'm all about my skinny cows at night. So it's about finding that balance, but pay attention to how foods affect you. And if something doesn't, I'll tell you right now, frozen yogurt for some reason does not do well with me. I'm still going to have it occasionally, but it's rare. And I know if I do, I'm probably going to not feel too hot for a while. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to, we talked about sleep. Again, I'm going to bring it back around because it is so important. I'm putting it on the very top of your list. How much sleep are you getting? If you're not getting enough sleep, nothing else is going to go well. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to recover well from your workouts. They're not going to be as good. You're not going to eat, as well. You're not going to, ice cream, yes. Ice cream is an important food group for me. But you've got to get enough sleep. So, if you have a weekend like I had this last weekend, the last two nights I've gotten 9 hours. It's very hard to catch up on sleep, but this is the first day I really am feeling like myself again, and it's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this subject today, because it is really crucial. Yesterday, all day long, I was hungry. Nothing satiated me, made me feel good. My digestion was all messed up. Like, everything was just a hot mess. So, because I got back on Sunday. So by today, I'm having my green vibrance in the morning. I'm taking my probiotics at night. I've got my, kind of got my schedule back going, making sure to get enough water in and all those other things. But most importantly, got enough sleep. So sleep is really, pay attention to your sleep. A lot of people don't even realize they're not getting enough sleep. And then pay attention to your training. How sore are you getting? Are you letting yourself fully recover? Are you feeling completely worn down all the time? Sometimes you need to take a break or back down from your training, and sometimes you're just not pushing hard enough, right? So paying attention to what end of that spectrum are you on? Are you just picking up the 5 pounds and you're just doing this and you're not like la 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 la, not really paying attention? Or are you just pushing yourself so hard that you're not really recovering and you're sore all the time? Either way, you need to bring it in, right? You need to be really challenging yourself when you're there, and you need to be allowing yourself enough recovery time. And of course, sleep is an important part of that. And then finally, because I wanted to kind of keep it around 30, 40 minutes here for you guys, finally, finding happiness. Happiness is crucial to your success. I really feel like happiness comes the more you find balance. The more you surround yourself with those like-minded people that lift you up and make you feel part of something. The more you come from a place of allowing and a place of kindness to yourself rather than a place of beating yourself up, right? If you get up in the morning and the scale isn't down or is up, are you miserable all day long? I mean, right? I'm way up after this weekend and not getting enough sleep. Okay. I also have had a lot of sodium, right? Okay. I know these things. I know not getting enough sleep, eating a lot of sodium or going out to eat a lot, all these things. Like, I know these things are going to affect. I'm not going to go home and let it make me miserable. So finding happiness, finding a place of kindness with yourself, with your body, it's not about being perfect, right? We're all a work in progress. And to me, it's like when I stop growing, I might as well just go and die, because growing is what it's all about, right? We're not at our destination. We're on our journey. So, recognizing I'm on a journey. I'm continuously improving. I'm continuously finding ways to, to further what I feel like my purpose is, or find out what my purpose is. I'm more and more finding ways to, uplift the people I care about. All those things are going to create happiness in our life. The more you give, the more you get. So reaching out to people, all those things outside of, we talk all the time about how to eat right and how to work out right and all that kind of stuff. Today I wanted to talk about, how to be in that moment and be happy with yourself, so that there's not this frame of mind of being overwhelmed and stressed, I know a lot of people came on late. Hopefully you guys can listen to the beginning, where I talked a lot. I'm just going to kind of run through it. We talked about creating a routine, prioritizing, time blocking, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, how to create, the right kind of mindset for happiness and for, to get rid of that feeling of being overwhelmed or stressed. And being aware, paying attention to how people, foods, workouts, sleep, all those things are affecting you, and then manipulating that schedule that you created yourself, that time blocking, so that you can get better and better at it. It's not about being there. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning what works best for you to create the life you want, that you can visualize for yourself. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. So hopefully this was helpful. I really appreciate you guys coming on and spending time with me. I'm so blessed because I'm surrounded by so many really incredible people that do lift me up. So I want to give that back to you guys by doing these. Sometimes, see, I get all choked up. I'm such a dork. But I really, truly mean it, and I'm really grateful to be part of your lives. And thank you for coming and sharing this time with me. Please do share the video and put it out there, and give me any suggestions you guys want for going forward and other conversations that we can have. And I look forward to doing a lot more of these. And have an awesome Tuesday and an awesome rest of the week. All right, see you guys later.